What's good, crypto fam? Welcome to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing the latest news as we do each and every day, including rumors circulating that Coinbase is writing Bitcoin IOUs for BlackRock to suppress the Bitcoin price. Can it be? I'm breaking it down for you. We'll also be discussing the latest with Sam Bankman-Fried. His lawyer just submitted an appeal, trying to appeal the felony convictions. Very interesting. And quoting Max Kaiser, BlackRock has 20,000 employees that make less than $6 billion a year. Tether has less than 100 employees. They make way more than $6 billion a year. Everything is going to zero against Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing the SEC. Crypto overreach cost small investors $15 billion, according to John Deaton, as well as Kraken requests jury trial and legal battle with the SEC over the alleged securities law violations. We'll also be discussing Trump's crypto platform launch set to take place this Monday, as well as Bitcoin price. Can it really reach $1 million per coin by next year for the cycle peak in 2025? All this, plus so much more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important, smash the likes, go ahead and subscribe. Then hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. Today is pod episode number 1758. I'm your host, JV. It's September 14th, 2024. Happy Stack and Saturday. Bitcoin's been bullish. Yesterday, we started a run up. It's nice to be in a little weekend pumpy pump, but 60 is clearly the resistance. We got to get above it. In my humble opinion, we got to get above 61, and we're so close. And I feel once we can clear that, we'll start marching towards price discovery, sitting at 73.8. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. You can see on Coin360, Bitcoin at 59.9, up 0.25% for the day, while Ethereum, Solana, many of the alts finally pulling back. Yesterday, everything was ultimately in the green. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. Current crypto market cap is sitting at $2.09 trillion. Bitcoin market cap is sitting at $1.181 trillion. And checking out the top gainers, but first, actually, I want to see what the Bitcoin dominance is. We have 46 billion in volume. Bitcoin dominance still on the climb. Cool, 56.5%. And Ether dominance still stuck at 13.9%. Again, the lowest we have seen this in a very long time. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got CKB up 6%, Celestia 6%, and XRP up 4%. Below that, Tau, Cause, and Litecoin. And which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla. And yes, you got caffeinated JV today. Hallelujah. And here you're looking at the daily. Yesterday, virtually, I think 95% of the market was in the green. Today, it's kind of flipped. I'd say 90-10 in the red. And zooming out on the monthly and get a broader perspective. Let's see. I'd say 85% in the green, maybe 15% in the red. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on Bitcoin block number 861,324. We have 188,676 blocks until the next halving. And you can currently trade $1 for 1,671 Satoshis. Remember, a few days ago, it was all the way up 1,800 plus. Obviously, the higher the Bitcoin price action goes, the less sats you can get per dollar. So stack accordingly. But anyways, fam, let's kick off today's technical analysis. We even pull up some of the live charts, see what's crack-a-lagging in the market. Headline reads, Bitcoin reclaims 60 Gs, and this time is different, says analysts. Bitcoin reclaims the 60,000 mark for the first time since August 30th. It's been a half a month. And the increasing interest from institutional participant signals this time around is unique, at least according to the analyst. As he says here, this time is different, says Rajat. He also explained that Bitcoin has been consolidating above 50 Gs for over 6 months. However, the last time it was above 50,000 was all the way back in 2021, when interest in the asset was mainly for the retail investors. That's right. Previous market was driven by retail. Quoting him here, the price struggled to maintain 50,000 plus because most of the buying was from retail investors who are notorious for buying and selling based on emotions. Sonny claimed that the institutional investors are here and they're ready to buy everything. Retail investors want to sell. And he warned that if you're selling, be ready to pay significantly more to get the same amount back. Right on. And after Bitcoin surpassed 60,000, a crypto trader Jelly speculated that the asset might defy its usual trend for underperforming in September, quitting him here. Bitcoin's currently on track to close September in the green, and he pointed out that it only achieved a green close in September 3 times before. That was 2015, 2016, and 2023. Meanwhile, CoinGlass shows September as the worst month for Bitcoin, with the asset posting an average monthly loss of almost 5% over the last 11 years. Meanwhile, Cryptoverse founder Benjamin Cohen pointed out on a post that it is the highest daily close for the Bitcoin dominance all cycle. And I think according to CoinMarketCap, it's like 56.5%. BTC dominance, and again, the Ether dominance is at a pretty low right now at 13.9%. Let me know if you think it'll continue trending that way. Meanwhile, we have on-chain analyst William Clemente. He opined that there are some early signs of life showing in the technicals for the Bitty, looking for a reclaim of its 200-day moving average, which could coincide with the first higher high in 6 months to start looking at the alts. Now let's pull up some of the live charts, but before I do that, here's some other breaking news. As of today, Ross Ulbricht has officially been locked in prison for over 4,000 days. A non-violent offender arrested for a crime of enabling trade. Free Ross. Now, I know Trump promised us if he is elected president, he says day one he'll fire Gary Gensler, chairman of the SEC. He also says he'll free Ross Ulbricht. Hope he sticks to his word. Also, other circulating rumors that Coinbase is writing Bitcoin IOUs for BlackRock. As they are suppressing the price, I would not be surprised. I don't know how I can validate the rumors, but that's the word in the street. And in other breaking news, Samson now says the less Bitcoin you own, the more time and energy is being stolen from you. And he makes a good point. And Max Kaiser says BlackRock has 20,000 employees and they make less than $6 billion a year. Tether has less than 100 employees and make way more than $6 billion a year. Everything is going to zero against the Bitty. Now let's pull up some of the live charts. Let's see what's crack-a-lagging. This is live, brought to you via TradingView, via Coinbase. You can see on your screen, Bitcoin looking to retest 60 Gs. This is the 1 hour chart. We do have a target in the blue sitting at 63.9. And we're going to zoom out and we'll get some different looks. Let's check out the 4 hour chart. Again, live and in the flesh, you're looking at live charts. We have a target in the north sitting at 63.7 and an inverted head and shoulders. Again, on the 4 hour chart, we do have a right shoulder. And overall, look at those big green candles. Those are from yesterday. Obviously, we consolidated some today and we're currently sideways. And let's check out the 1 day. Via TradingView, via Coinbase. Look at that big green candle yesterday. It was nice. I think we had a $4,000 gain, ballpark. And today, a little corrective, but the day is not over. Day is still young. Sat, stack, and Saturday. Act accordingly. We do have a target sitting at 47.7 here on the daily chart. Let's check out the weekly chart. My favorite one. This shows that sexy cup and handle target in the pink sitting at 164.7. I personally feel this can be accomplished in the fourth quarter of this year, sometime between October and December. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And checking out the monthly, as you can see here. Sideways trading action here. Earlier in the year, it was just going up, up, up. And then we started trading sideways for the past like 5 months or so. And let's see how September takes us. Will the historic September continue or will things flip around? Let me know your honest thoughts. We did the TA. Let's dive into the latest with the Bankman-Fried saga continues. Headline here reads, Sam Bankman-Fried files an appeal for his felony conviction. Look at that handsome stud right there. You don't see a set of hair like that on many folk. He's a very original guy. Lawyers representing former crypto exchange FTX CEO Bankman-Fried have filed a long-anticipated appeal for his conviction on 7 felony counts and his 25-year prison sentence. In the September 13 filing with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Court, SBS lawyers filed a 102-page brief claiming the former FTX CEO was never presumed innocent, subject to scrutiny that allegedly affected prosecutors. The presiding judge and treatment by the media, Bankman-Fried's legal team, announced in April, a few weeks after the federal judge sentenced him to 25 years in prison, that they intended to appeal. And according to the appeal, SBS lawyers alleged the jury was only allowed to see half the picture with the FTX user funds, claiming prosecutors presented a false narrative that the money was permanently lost and Bankman-Fried intentionally caused that loss. They also claim that the counsel for the FTX debtors worked with the U.S. government in a way that was above and beyond cooperation, providing information allegedly as an arm of the prosecution. Quoting them here, from day one, the prevailing narrative, initially spun by the lawyer who took over FTX, quickly adopted by their contacts at the U.S. Attorney's Office, was that Bankman-Fried had stolen billions of dollars of customer funds, driven FTX to insolvency, and caused billions in losses, according to the appeal. Now, nearly 2 years later, a very different picture is emerging. Crazy how you can rewrite history, isn't it? One confirming FTX was never insolvent, and in fact had assets worth billions to repay its customers. Better not be including FTT, but the jury at Bankman-Fried's trial never got to see that picture. Tell it to the judge. And here you can see the appeal with the appellate court. Now, the legal term requested the appellate court grant SBF a new trial with different judge. Apparently, they don't like that judge. It's unclear whether the Second Circuit Court rule to affirm Bankman-Fried's conviction in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York or reverse the decision and set the groundwork for the new trial. Here's a little background. Before 2022, Bankman-Fried, as we know, is one of the most prominent names of the industry, along with then Binance CEO CZ. Crazy how they both ended up in jail or prison, whatever. And then Celsius CEO Alex Mashinsky, did he ever actually go to prison? Both of whom have gone to face criminal indictments. In November, however, a liquidity crisis at FTX rapidly caused the exchange to collapse, as it did not have the funds to back user withdrawals. So it was almost like a bank run. Everyone wanted their money at the same time. Hey, we just don't have it. Authorities later discovered Bankman-Fried allegedly ordered FTX sister firm Alameda Research to use funds from the exchange for investments in violation of federal laws. Bankman-Fried was extradited from the Bahamas, FTX's headquarters and SBS home at the time, to the U.S., where he was indicted and released on bail. In the lead up to Bankman-Fried's criminal trial, the former CEO shared personal information about the former Alameda CEO, Caroline Ellison, and his ex-girlfriend with New York Times reporters. The article and the other bail violations contributed to Judge Lewis Kaplan ordering SBF recommended to jail or remanded to jail, where he has been housed since August of 2023. And allegedly, according to the stories we have shared, he's trading, he's eating the beans for protein and he's trading the rice. So I guess rice and beans is what he's served. Let's continue with the news. SEC overreaching. That's the word on the street. SEC crypto overreach cost small investors $15 billion. Damn you, no Claire Gare. According to the prominent crypto attorney and Senate candidate, Securities and Exchange Commission, we know as the SEC's excessive intervention of the crypto industry, has resulted in retail investors losing over $15 billion. The U.S. securities regulator has often been criticized for its enforcement-heavy regulatory regime over the crypto industry. The SEC should be held accountable for its actions, as its gross overreach cost investors $15 billion. That's according to John Deaton, lawyer and Republican U.S. Senate candidate. The pro-XRP lawyer shared the following. The SEC's misconduct and gross overreach cost small investors over $15 billion US. On behalf of those 75,000 small investors I represented, we do not accept the SEC's apology. Amen. And when did the SEC ever apologize? Am I missing something? Real talk. So yeah, shout out John Deaton for holding them accountable. He shares on this post here. And yeah, we got to hold Senator Warren, Gensler, and all the criminals accountable. I agree. Deaton added he intends to hold the SEC accountable for its regulatory actions since Senator Elizabeth Warren won't do it. Deaton's statement comes 2 weeks after the pro-XRP lawyer won the nomination for the U.S. Senate in the Massachusetts primary election and is set to face off Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren in November. Shout out Deaton. Hope he wins. SEC no longer views cryptos as securities, according to the court filing. In a drastic shift, the SEC is seemingly backing down from its previous stance that cryptos are securities. The SEC clarified that cryptos themselves are not viewed as securities, according to the court filing shared by the Coinbase chief legal officer on September 13th. The SEC wrote its amended complaint against Binance in the court filing, sharing the following. The SEC regrets any confusion it may have invited by falsely and repeatedly stating tokens themselves are securities. Wow, they actually apologized. But meanwhile, there was a story I shared yesterday where they sued eToro, they settled, and they can now only promote Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. So kind of an apology is that? Industry participants saw the statements as an ironic shift, considering the SEC previously maintained that XRP token was a security, which was also highlighted by Deaton, quoting them here. All I asked was for the SEC to honor the law and make clear that the token itself, XRP, was not a security. The lawyers at the SEC not only refused to do so, but they attacked me personally. And on September 12th, the SEC, as I just mentioned, they settled with eToro, forcing the trading platform US Wing to cease trading for nearly nearly all the crypto assets, minus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. I know because we covered it yesterday. Let me know if you watched that episode. Now, the U.S. SEC recorded a record-breaking year for crypto enforcement. Not surprised, even before the eToro statement. As of September 10th, the SEC imposed nearly $5 billion of enforcement action against crypto firms and executives in 2024, an over 3,000% jump from 2023. I think CZ alone had to pay $4 billion to the Department of Justice, $300 million to the SEC, etc. The SEC's record-setting year was mostly boosted by its massive, as I just mentioned, also Terraform Labs CEO, $4.5 billion settlement from Do Kwon. Crazy in June. So just from Do Kwon and CZ, that's like almost $9 billion. Insane. It's the largest enforcement action to date, according to the September 9th report from the social market capital markets. The regulators' 11 enforcement actions in 2024 netted 3,000% increase from its $150 million worth of fines in 2023, despite taking 19 fewer actions against crypto firms. You already know the shakedown will continue, family. I mean, that's what they do at the end of the day. Regulators pretend we're here to protect the people. They're here to take from the people, just like Jamie Tapeworm. You guys already know. Next story, we discussed the SEC's overreach. Next story is more SEC drama with Kraken. The headline reads, Kraken requests jury trial in a legal battle with the SEC over alleged security law violations. Let's break it down. And Chandy, did Kraken support ever get back to you? Let me know. The crypto exchange Kraken has officially requested a jury trial in its ongoing legal battle with the U.S. SEC. Last November, the SEC charged Kraken with operating its crypto trading platform as an unregistered securities exchange, broker, dealer, and clearing agency. In fact, I think I recall they had to pay a $30 million fine. They thought everything was good. Then what did the SEC do? Hit them with another lawsuit. They hit him with the Hine. Earlier this year, Kraken filed in the U.S. District Court to dismiss those charges, positing the SEC's claims would widen the definition of investment contracts and expand the regulator's jurisdiction outside of its delegated responsibility. That request didn't fly with U.S. District Judge William H. Orrick, who denied the exchange's request last month, ruling the SEC's plausibly alleged that at least some of the crypto transactions that Kraken facilitates on its network constitute investment contracts and therefore securities and are accordingly subject to security laws. In a new document filed with the court on Thursday, Kraken requested jury trial in response to the SEC's complaint, arguing it operated for more than a decade without any hint from the regulator that it was violating security laws. Tell them, quoting them here. In fact, in 2021, the chairman of the SEC told Congress that the exchanges trading in these crypto assets do not have a regulatory framework at the SEC, and it is only Congress that could really address this lack of a framework. Kraken has tried to work with the SEC to make registration feasible, but the industry's efforts have been stonewalled at every step, as the SEC has instead chosen to pursue a strategy of fighting with its sister regulators for enforcement authority its chair admitted it not to have. Or did not have. This was predictably, which led to a patchwork of inconsistent and irreconcilable court decisions in an area that is plainly in need of a uniform regulatory approach. Kraken says the SEC refused to identify which crypto asset transactions it classified as investment contracts until the regulator filed its complaint last year. Quoting him here, the digital assets themselves cannot be investment contracts because they carry none of the rights and obligations of a share of a stock, a bond, or any other financial asset that Congress has said is subject to SEC regulation. The digital assets themselves are the only thing that are traded, brokered, or settled on Kraken. The SEC argued that Kraken hawked more than 11 different crypto asset securities on its platform and was required by law to register with the regulator. Those alleged securities include Cardano, Algorand, Cosmos, Solana, amongst others. So there you go. Let me know how you think this will likely play out with the jury trial for Kraken. I mean, I'm rooting for Kraken. I hate when the SEC does this type of stuff here personally. So any L for Gary is a victory for us in crypto, but that's just me. Let me know your thoughts. Next, here's the latest with the Trump project. The DeFi protocol is supposed to launch this Monday, which is the 16th. So let's discuss what's going on here, and then we'll discuss the realistic probability of Bitcoin hitting $1 million next year in 2025. Then we'll dive into our live Q&A. Welcome everyone to join the stream. We've got over 1,000 people here. Greatly appreciate everyone's support. Yeah, headline reads, Trump's crypto platform will launch. Let's break it down. Welcome to Finance Redefined, your weekly dose of essential decentralized DeFi insights. Let's break her down. Trump's World Liberty Financial Crypto Project will launch on the 16th, this Monday. The former president and Republican presidential nominee announced That's right, come directly from Trump himself. In a September 12 video posted by Trump, he said he'd go live on the platform to launch the project controlled by his sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, quoting him here, "We are embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind." So there you go. Trump previously made several cryptic posts concerning World Liberty Financial, vaguely positioning it as a DeFi platform for borrowing and lending. So first and foremost, let me know if you watched yesterday's podcast, because I shared Max Kaiser's response to this, and he ultimately said, obviously only Bitcoin is decentralized and unconfiscatable, and that this will effectively, along with everything else, tread towards zero against Bitcoin. My first instinct was, half the world likes Trump. He's a very polarized character. The other half of the world hate him, and I feel that can be a target, like a honeypot in a sense. But then again, I don't know what's going to happen. But every single celebrity-backed project typically don't end well. Typically never ends well. In fact, I don't know of any that has been successful for the long term. So it makes you go, Now for our feature story of the day. Will Bitcoin really hit $1 million next year in 2025, as some analysts project? Let's break this baby down, shall we? And in a previous episode, we commonly discussed this target. Of course, it's a 7-figure milestone. This was recently in Forbes magazine. So I'm going to get right to the fruits and veggies. Being I'm a vegetarian, I don't say the meat and potatoes. So just got to keep it real. Here we go. Bitcoin's halving history. Check this out. You should be able to see this live and on your screen right now. In 2012, on Bitcoin halving day, Bitcoin, this was the first halving of all time for Bitcoin network. As you know, the Genesis block was January 3rd of 2009. And then 3 years later in 2012 was halving day. Bitcoin was $12.35. Let that sink in. 150 days later, $127 per coin. So all it took was 150 days, which is 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 5 months, okay? Now in 2016, the following halving, this is the cycle I got involved. It was the year after that halving in 2017. I found Bitcoin at roughly $1,500. Let me know what year you got involved. Now on the halving day, look how much it went up, $650. And then 150 days later, again, 5 months, it was $758. So interesting. And then in 2020, the following halving, let me know if you were around then. On halving day, it was 8,800. And then 150 days later, almost 11,000. And then in 2024, halving day, this year, I believe it was April 19th. I remember because we did a halving watch. It was 62,000, and we're not 150 days out yet, but let me know your projections of where you feel it will go as the likelihood from there. Now, this above table shows the past halving events have established the long-term bullish drivers for the Bitcoin price. The Bitcoin halving event relates to its deflationary tendency and crushing its supply, which helps the Bitcoin price rise further. As Bitcoin is a decentralized crypto, any central banks or governments can't print it, and thus Bitcoin's total supply is limited. Moreover, the Bitcoin whales, referring to the large investors, have started accumulating the Bitty again. And according to data from on-chain aggregator Sentiment, these large Bitcoin whales holding 1,000 to 10,000 BTC in their wallets indicate investors have been filling up their wallets with a substantial amount of the Bitty. This accumulation may contribute to the boosting of the Bitcoin price. So first, let's discuss, can Bitcoin hit 100,000 this year in 2024? And then we'll discuss if Bitcoin can hit 1 million by 2025. You ready? Here we go. The current year is the year of Bitcoin's fourth halving. It occurred on April. It was really the 19th here, at least in Puerto Rico and in New York, but maybe if you are in a different part of the world, it could have been the 20th. Happy 420. It forms the basis of the Bitcoin monetary policy and supports its increasing scarcity by cutting the Bitcoin supply growth rate in half approximately every 4 years, making it more scarce. Currently, there's 19.74 million Bitcoins circulating in the crypto market. Now, Raja Jopal Vaman, vice president of WazirX, a crypto exchange over in India, stated that Bitcoin is eyeing a major breakout. And if successful, the target lies between 90 and 100,000. Breaking free from this level could propel the Bitty all the way to 90 to 100 Gs, driven by the next resistance and support levels within the existing parabola. Psychologically, the 100,000 mark represents the significant resistance point. It is logical for Bitcoin to pause around 90 Gs, potentially rising above 90,000 but staying below 100. This pattern aligns with the typical market behavior around such round numbers. And he also said the veteran trader Peter Brandt predicts a market top of 150,000 by the end of the next year. I think that's extremely bearish, but that's just my 2 Satoshis. His analysis is grounded in the halving cycles, with the recent halving occurring earlier in the year. Historically, halvings occur around the midpoint of the cycle, suggesting a strong bullish phase until the end of 2025. This aligns with the traditional 4-year cycle observed in the previous Bitcoin trends. So this cycle is a little different. This is for the first time we hit the all-time high. Compared to last cycle, it was 69, but we broke the all-time high pre-halving. So this is unprecedented. You got to keep that in mind. Also, previous cycle was driven purely from retail. This cycle thus far driven purely from the institutional adoption, the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, and all those folk. Now let's discuss $1 million by 2025. And if you missed yesterday's podcast, we broke down Samson Mao's prediction, in which he says he believes $1 million coming real soon. So if you didn't watch it, you got to check it out. Bitcoin enthusiasts often make overly optimistic and sometimes unrealistic predictions for Bitcoin. After this mini bull run, numerous discussions have occurred around the Biddy. As you know, some speculate crypto coin could reach 10, whatever that means. I guess that means 1 million in whatever currency that is. But anyways, maybe Indian. Himanshu, founder and chairman of CIFDAQ Blockchain Ecosystem, says while predicting Bitcoin will reach $1 million by 2025 might seem overly optimistic, several factors make such a scenario plausible. The increasing adoption of the Biddy, various countries approving Bitcoin ETFs, the weakening of traditional fiat currencies due to hyperinflation, preach, and rising profitability for Bitcoin miners are the key drivers that could significantly boost the value. He also added that Standard Chartered, and FYI, this is a large bank and BlackRock is the primary shareholder. In fact, I heard a statistic from Patrick Bet-David that over 90% of the stocks in the S&P 500, the companies, are primarily the primary shareholder is BlackRock, meaning BlackRock owns the world. Just saying. I think you know that already, though. But anyways, they're predicting $120,000 price by the end of this year. Send it, underscoring the growing confidence of the Bitcoin potential. And more investors and institutions turn to the Biddy as a hedge against inflation. The possibility of it reaching unprecedented heights becomes more conceivable. And if such sovereign funds start investing into the Biddy or the Bitcoin ETF, the price will undoubtedly escalate much faster and faster and faster. Run, Forrest, run. And there is no limit to the price escalation because of the quantum of these funds. You know what I mean? Bottom line. Tell me the bottom line, JB. Amongst the myriad predictions of the Biddy, the bottom line remains that it has experienced several downfalls and emerged stronger than ever before. Kind of like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Its resilient nature instills a belief in crypto enthusiasts who see the value in investing in decentralized currencies. Only time can tell whether the Biddy soars, hitting new all-time highs, 6 figures, 7 figures. You tell me where you feel the Biddy is heading next. And welcome to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Let me know your thoughts. 7-figure Bitcoin price, 6-figure Bitcoin price. When? New all-time high. There's a live poll in the chat. Holla at your boy. Let me know, and I'm going to do my best to read all your comments out loud. Welcome everyone just joined the stream. Let's go. RL, my only alt is sheep, and I will probably keep it until I die. I believe it will do my kids well, but F that. BTC will keep my generations very well forever. It's going up forever, Laura. Get ready for a fall to winter magic carpet ride. We ice cold. That's what winter about. I meant you might have one last opportunity to turn them into Bitcoin before they go to zero. Exactly. You don't love your family, I guess? Ooh, says Statwise. RL says, F the hyperinflation. We know by inflation in general is not a free market. How about hyper-Bitcoinization, fam? Bitcoin is autonomous, decentralized, immutable, globally accepted, rapidly transacted, irrefutable, finite supply, immune to the inflation, etc. Any questions? Precisely, Greg. You nailed it, brother. 225,000, the Oracle predicts end of the year. I dig it. And 500 and 750 G's cycle peak. Amen. 6 figures is the first hurdle for 2024, please. Amen. Send it, Ricky. Appreciate you in the chat. Good luck, y'all, in the banana zone. You're talking about the Banana Republic of the United States of America.